Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Dion's Daily Dose. Today, it's face-to-face. Triple D presents face-to-face, Dion and Shawn. And I'm here with my friend Shawn. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So we got a very interesting, and I think deeper than a lot of people realize, story today. We have some really big changes in the Milwaukee election, I guess, leadership, right? So do you want to kind of give a brief overview, and then we'll get into the article?
Okay. Well, the mayor of Milwaukee replaced the person who was in charge of doing elections in Milwaukee.
Okay. So that's an appointed position.
Yes.
Okay.
And in the article, it'll say that she made some mistakes in 2020, or I guess she might have made some claims about Wisconsin.
Okay.
And it's just kind of weird that she would replace them now and not after the 2020 election.
Yeah, back when they had, quote, problems, right? Yeah. So it's 6 months-ish till November.
Yep.
Anyone being replaced in a major election area, a battleground state, what they call a swing state or a battleground state, of which Wisconsin is one, could have some serious repercussions on the election there, right?
It could.
It could.
And Trump just barely lost Wisconsin in 2020 by 0.6%.
If the vote totals are accurate, then he was just a bit outside from Major League. So let's kind of dig into this and see what we have here, because this is interesting. So it says here, Milwaukee replaces top election official 6 months before presidential vote. Mayor appoints Paulina Gutierrez to lead election commission, replacing Claire Woodall in key battleground state's biggest city. So picture here, Claire Woodall, the then executive director of the City of Milwaukee Election Commission, teaches a class to poll workers in October 2022 in Milwaukee. So it says here, Milwaukee will replace its top election official with just under 6 months until the presidential election, the city's mayor announced on Monday. Mayor Cavalier Johnson appointed Paulina Gutierrez to take over as executive director, replacing Claire Woodall, who had served since July 2020. The change, first reported by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, of which we have that article, means there will be a new head of elections in one of the most critical cities in a key battleground state. Milwaukee is the most populous city in Wisconsin, and one of the places Donald Trump targeted as part of his efforts to allegedly overturn the election. Woodall did not immediately return a request for comment. Gutierrez, quote, will leave the office at an important juncture when public scrutiny of the work of the department will be extremely high, Johnson said in a statement. I have confidence in her, and I will make certain the department has the resources it needs to fulfill its duties. It was not immediately clear why Johnson chose to replace Woodall. There were reports on Monday that it was connected to her decision to publicly criticize election employees after the office mistakenly sent the wrong ballots to voters in the spring. Ahead of the April 2nd Wisconsin presidential primary, more than 200 voters in Milwaukee were mailed ballots marked for the wrong district, an error that Woodall attributed in strong terms to the staff of her office. Quote, I can't express how frustrating and infuriating it is that it just seems like there was no critical thinking involved or communication, she told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. I have no idea what she really sounds like. Like many election officials, Woodall drew the intense scrutiny of election-denying activists. It's such a stupid term. You can't deny an election. Anyway, in the wake of the 2020 presidential election and faced harassment and threats in the following months. To preempt doubts and conspiracy theories ahead of the 2024 election, Woodall's office developed new protocols to ensure transparency while transmitting the tally of absentee ballots. Okay. The office has also faced internal tumult since 2020. A former official in the Milwaukee election office, Kimberly Zapata, was convicted of fraud for ordering multiple fake absentee ballots in 2022 and sentenced to a $3,000 fine and a year of probation earlier this month. It is not clear if there was any connection between the scandal and Woodall's replacement. So I just want to say this. I find the penalties for actively interfering in elections, whether through fake ballots, whether by multiple votes, whatever, to be laughable. $3,000 is a lot of money for people who don't have a lot of money. But a year of probation? Really? Really? Dude, I squirted salt water in a Coke machine when I was in my teens and got a year in jail. Like, dude.
True.
Like, come on, man. This is so ridiculously under sentenced compared to the damage this kind of thing can do. It's anyway, I'm going to get off on a tangent, so we're just going to continue. The 2020 election was Woodall's first time running a presidential election in Milwaukee, and this year's presidential election will be a first for her replacement, Gutierrez, who was appointed deputy director in early 2023. Change, especially when it is unexpected, can often be unsettling, Gutierrez wrote in a Sunday email that was reported by the Journal-Sentinel. The experience of changing leadership is demanding and uncertain as we navigate uncharted waters and relearn to collaborate and communicate as an organization. Yeah. So that's it for that one. So this is the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and this is, it gets into more, who is Claire Woodall? What to know about the individual that's being replaced, right? So Claire Woodall, the executive director of the Milwaukee Election Commission, is being replaced by the mayor. Her deputy, Paulina Gutierrez, is being nominated to take over her position. Major change in leadership 6 months before, we know. So why? It does say here, state lawmakers had considered a bill last session allowing clerks across the state to begin that work on the Monday before Election Day, talking about counting absentee ballots, rather than on Tuesday night, but the proposal failed. Johnson has declined to say why he did not reappoint Woodall. Here's what we know and what we don't know. So what is this Milwaukee Election Commission? The Milwaukee Election Commission oversees elections in Wisconsin's largest city. Unlike a typical clerk's office, which I might add gets elected usually, the clerk is an elected position. The city also has a clerk's office, but this body has commissioners. It's distinct from the Wisconsin Elections Commission, which is a state-level agency that provides guidance to clerks across the state. So to me, it sounds like bureaucracy added for the sake of bureaucracy, but that's just me. I don't live in Milwaukee. I don't know how difficult their elections are. Maybe there's more to it that I don't know. But in general, I found that putting elected officials in charge of things so that they can be held accountable by getting voted out is the best way. But so how long has Claire Woodall led Milwaukee's elections? Well, she was confirmed as executive director of the commission in July of 2020, a tight window before the city's August primary election. She started working for the commission in 2013 and had 2 other roles, including overseeing voter services and analyzing registration and absentee data. In a 2020 statement supporting her nomination, Johnson called Woodall a, quote, dedicated public servant who is passionate about quelling voter suppression and overcoming the barriers faced by our electorate to ensure that everyone in our city has free and fair access to electoral participation. In between her work on Milwaukee's commission, Woodall was the clerk for the city of Cedarburg. So why is she being replaced? The mayor's office has not yet given a reason for the change in executive director. A press release that announced the new nominee for the position did not share more information about why Woodall is being replaced. And that really is the core of it for me, is why is she being replaced 6 months before the election with her deputy? And you're not giving any details. You're not giving any reasons. You're not telling us why you're making a major change to a major place right before what could be one of the most important elections in our lifetime, if not the most important.
Yeah. And I think it's going to come down to Wisconsin and Michigan.
It's going to be the battleground states, just like it always is. In an interview with WISN TV, WISN, Johnson denied Woodall was fired and said she had been offered a different position that she does not plan to take. Wait a minute.
That is.
Wait. Hold on. He did an interview with WISN TV, and according to this article, it says Johnson denied Woodall was fired. So I did not fire her, is what he's saying. And he said she had been offered a different position that she does not plan to take. So then why wouldn't she stay where she's at? Something ain't right.
No.
Something ain't right. Johnson said he did not want to discuss personnel decisions when asked if Woodall was accused of any wrongdoing. Okay, now that's an interesting deflection. And it's something, I'm going to say this, especially for local internal decisions or, internal matters. I've heard that term a lot. And
we have.
And it's a way to keep the public out of the loop. That's what it is. So I find that interesting. So the deputy's going to replace her, which is Paulina Gutierrez, and they say, yeah, she's great, Johnson says. But why are Milwaukee's elections closely watched? Well, Milwaukee's election officials have faced intense scrutiny in recent years, especially from conspiracies that stem from absentee ballot returns that are often posted late in the night, sometimes changing which candidate is in the lead. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even going to touch that. It's some bullshit. That's all I'm going to say. In 2020, the later tally helped move Democrat Joe Biden over President Donald Trump, fueling the former president's false claims about election fraud in Wisconsin. Under current state law, clerks cannot process absentee ballots until after polls open on election day. A proposal to allow clerks to start working earlier and avoid late night results failed in the legislature this session. A fictional storyline about the city's absentee ballots was featured in an episode of HBO's Succession, about which Woodall consulted with show writers. Has Claire Woodall received threats? Probably. Hell, I've received threats. Like, anytime you're in a public position of any kind, or you put yourself out there publicly as a candidate, you get unhinged people. They're not exclusively to the right. They're not exclusively to the left. Mentally ill, knows no political affiliation.
They're crazy people.
Yeah, they're just nuts. Nuts people are out there. What's the term from Seven? He's a nutbag. You haven't seen Seven either, have you?
Have I not?
You're killing me here with this is a man who is very informed when it comes to politics and very uninformed when it comes to quality movies. Anyway, moving on. Woodall has received threats in her public position fueled by election conspiracies, which Milwaukee police and the FBI have reviewed. In 2022, she tweeted she would work remotely if the RNC were held in Milwaukee due to death threats, a post that the mayor's office called flippant but acknowledged threats against her. Are there recent controversies with the commission? A reason for the replacement was not given, but the commission has been in the news lately. The commission's former deputy director, Kimberly Zapata, was given 1 year of probation and a $3,000 fine last week for ordering 3 military absentee ballots under fake names ahead of the 2022 midterm elections and having them sent to a state legislator known for embracing conspiracy theories. Huh?
Wow.
That's a lot of information for she broke the law.
And all in one sentence.
Yeah. In a letter ahead of Zapata's sentencing, Woodall described the personal and professional toll she felt from Zapata's actions, but maintained that Zapata was trying to highlight a gap in the election system. And, okay, I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this, I think is probably what they're leaning towards in the couched phrases that they use, known for embracing, conspiracies, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to show you how easy this is. Look, boop, 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 here you go. That's what I think happened. And then this guy went, or I don't know, male, female, whatever, went, holy cow, it really is that easy. We know there are issues with mail-in ballots. We know it. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's settled science. Like, we know there are issues. There are abuses that can and do take place. How widespread is it? That's open for debate. As the executive director of the Election Commission, I face severe skepticism and criticism from my colleagues, employees, and the citizens that I serve after Kim's actions came to light, Woodall wrote. Despite the harm she has caused, her actions were rooted in a very real security vulnerability that state statute has created and that continues to persist. Yeah. Anytime you can order multiple ballots, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. Especially under fake names. You're ordering ballots that aren't legit. So obviously there's a security flaw there that, in my opinion, should be addressed. But instead, they're replacing people.
They want to throw it under the rug.
Right. Milwaukee election officials also made errors ahead of the April 2nd election. The commission sent the wrong absentee ballots to 237 Milwaukee voters across 4 voting wards. The commission took disciplinary action against the employees involved. Woodall said she didn't believe there was any malicious intent, but rather gross negligence. They're not evil. They're just stupid. I mean, that seems to be the general statement there.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
Exactly. We have heard that before far too often. And at least for me, I'm tired of that being the excuse. I'm tired of, oh, well, they just made a mistake. Oh, well, the system is just, it only connects to the internet to get updates, this kind of stuff. Whatever. Not going to get into it. What I do know is anytime you have a major change like this on the eve of a major election, someone needs to pay close attention to what's going on. It's just that simple. So there you go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Got a lot of cool things coming up. And as always, you can find us on X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and lots of streaming services. Rumble as well. And we're now on Spotify, Pandora. I could go through the list, but visit the website, DionBergeron.com, or go to Dion'sDailyDose.com, which we now have. Sure. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. See you very soon. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Shawn Holmgren and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2024.